Welcome back to Travis Teaches Guitar. This is Music Theory 101. And today I'm going to reintroduce you to what's going to be a friend of ours forever. Right? And you probably already have been introduced. It goes something like Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. That is the major scale. You know, it is the most probably recognizable scale in music, and it is the basis. Its pattern is the basis for most other scales. So we'll start with this one. Okay, so first I want to explain what a scale is. A scale is just a set of ordered pitches. In other words, it's a collection of certain notes within an octave. An octave, you ask? I can hear you asking. Oct is 8, like an octagon. So it's made up of 8 notes. If you remember the last time I showed you, when I was showing you the strings, the notes on the string, E, F sharp. This is, the scale is going to contain a flavor of every note in the musical alphabet. So, as for E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and back to E. It contains all 7 letters, and then it ends up back at E. In this case, it would be the high E. That's an octave. It's an octave higher. If you could go lower, that would be an octave lower. On a piano, you can go lower. This is the lowest E here. But if we started here and then went back, then this would be an octave lower. But as it is, this is an octave higher. So it's 8 notes from E to E. That is an octave. And the scale is a collection of notes within that octave, from E to E, from A to A, from D to D, so on and so forth. It applies across all. So, what I want to show you today is that there's always going to be, like I said, a representation of each note in the scale, right? So when I say that, like I said, it was E, F, G, A. In this case of E, which we're not going to start with this one necessarily, but I want to show you this pattern because this is important. If you remember, in the first video or second video, I told you about whole steps and half steps. A reminder, if you have not seen those videos, go back and watch them, because there's going to be stuff as we build along here that will lose you if you don't have these foundation first. So a half step on the guitar is 1 fret. A whole step is 2 frets. So half step, whole step. Okay? So the pattern for the E major scale, for all the major scales, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and back to E, which is your octave. So it's E, a whole step to get your F sharp, another whole step to get your G sharp, half step to get the A, whole step to get your B, another whole step to get you your C sharp, your D sharp is another whole step, and then half step to get back to your octave. You'll find this half step right before your root note, which is the first note of a scale. So you can hear the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Cool thing with the guitar is that take your next string, for instance, your A. It's the same for all the strings. They all follow that pattern, going straight up the neck like this. So in your A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and back to A. And you can follow this whole pattern all the way down through each of the strings, and you could at least figure out, if you go slow, 5 scales right here. It is the same on all the strings. The scale that we're going to start out on is C, because C has no sharps or flats, so it's kind of easier to go from there and then show how it's going to apply. We're not going to go into that today. What I want you to do is go through all the strings just like we did in the past 2 lessons. And be mindful of each of these strings, or these notes rather. Don't just be hitting them random. Be mindful, because that is going to pay dividends as you press further in to your music knowledge. So E, F sharp. Say them aloud to yourself. Don't be embarrassed by it. This is good stuff. E, F sharp, G sharp, A. This will get you used to these position markers and their relationship to certain notes. And then the light's going to come on one of these times. And you're going to be like, that's right, Travis. He was telling me that this was going to happen, that I'm just going to come upon this. Don't overthink this. It's a simple pattern of whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and then half step. Your half step comes right before your root note, which is, in this case, the octave E. E. It's really simple, as long as you don't overthink it. When you get to overthinking it, then that's when your brain will start. So don't do that to yourself. Just understand it's the pattern. But more important, memorize the pattern, but more importantly, understand the notes that you're playing, and don't rely on the pattern itself. Because as you see, we're going to break that up into more than one string. Instead of going up the neck like this, we're going to go across the neck like this, like this. See how it's still do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do? That's from C to C. And there's no sharps or flats in that, and that's what we're going to start on the next time. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. So, until next time, the exercise I want you when you sit down to practice is go through this and familiarize yourself just as you did with the notes. And if you haven't done that yet, do that. Get yourself familiar with these notes. That's going to be your friend. It's going to make life a lot easier on you. You'll be able to play with people. It'll make their lives easier, because when they say, we're in the key of C, right? You're going to know what to do. Some other people may not, but you're not going to be that guy or gal, whatever it is. You're going to know what to do. So until next time, familiarize yourself with this. Practice right. And if any of this stuff is of use to you, which I'm sure it is, please like and subscribe below. If you've got some sort of a question, put it in the comments below, and I will get back to you. So until next time, keep practicing.